Okay, so day 7 of the trial with Cassie and P. Diddy. She takes the stand and Okay, so day 7 of the trial with Cassie and P. Diddy. She takes the stand and it is very explosive. We went live for 5 hours covering it. Shout out to those of you who were in that live. But let's get into what happened in less than 10 minutes. Hey guys, it's Murad Merali, daily and consistent content. Subscribe to the channel. It's just one click. That's all you guys have to do. Just subscribe and let's get straight into this video. So Cassie discusses, guys, a lot of cycles of DV, a lot of cycles of abuse, and Diddy putting her hands on her. But she name drops a lot of people on Diddy's team. Roger Bonds, Christina Coram again, Genevieve, a lady, James Cruz, D-Rock, Capricorn Clark, an assistant. She sent an email to Capricorn Clark that showed that P. Diddy was stating that he would release freak-off videos of her on Christmas Day if she did not break up with Kid Cudi. That's how controlling this man was. She dumped Kid Cudi. He was secretly going to Connecticut to go see her because of the threats from Diddy. Kid Cudi, Cassie and Diddy had a secret meeting and Kid Cudi was asking about his vehicle, and Diddy responded with what vehicle, implying that he basically burned it down, and then the meeting just abruptly ended. Whether it's Michael B. Jordan, whether it's Kid Cudi, whether it's going to the Drake festival, which was what she was going to, she then ended up getting beaten up by Diddy as well. He gets very angry when she's around different men. Diddy graped Cassie and took something from her. His eyes went completely black and then finished in her, and then he left her on the floor. This is a very, very direct statement that she made to the jury, heavily pregnant and emotional. She then discusses how she went back to him voluntarily one more time, and her response was because she was with him for 10 years. This woman has a strong trauma bond developed with this man, and I will be discussing this psychological relationship between Cassie and Diddy in a separate video because people don't understand the trauma bond that she has, such significant emotional codependency, and how this really turned into a Stockholm syndrome that she's had for the past 10 years in her relationship. She discusses that the first form of DV that she experienced with Diddy was in her first year of her relationship, and I don't know how young she was, either 20, I would say. She then goes on to discuss the UTIs that she basically experienced, and that how antibacterial simply did not work anymore. That's how serious it was. She confirms that she had sores on her tongue and that she had many UTIs. She said she'd take opiates. She wanted to feel numb. We'd get massages, IV fluids, and the chef would cook something, and that they would do opiates after freak-offs often because of UTIs, and that antibacterial unfortunately did not work anymore, and that in the freak-offs there were strong burning feelings. She would have sores on her tongue, I would imagine from STDs or herpes, and then she would have sores around her mouth from the strong friction of the oral as well, and all of this was just extremely uncomfortable, and she was experiencing severe burning sensations. Cassie also then says that after the relationship between her and Kid Cudi got to Diddy, she found out that somebody peed on the floor of her hotel. Somebody also had pooed in the toilet and did not flush and trashed her hotel. I genuinely feel like Diddy pooed in her hotel. I feel like it was him who did all this. I don't think he sent one of his goons to do this. I feel like he would have felt more satisfaction with him doing this himself, and so this is what I think that he has done. Diddy also revealed that Cassie also revealed that Diddy knocked Cassie and stomped on her head for 10 minutes. She then tried to run away, but then Roger Bonds, her security, grabbed her and brought her back. Remember, the same Roger who came to do his podcast discussing how Cassie is a bad person. This is the evil that this man was doing. I'm glad that she named names today. She also asked for a break during the trial because it was very she was very overwhelmed. She then just spoke about the fact that she tried to unalive herself because she wanted to walk into traffic because she simply could not take this anymore. That was the in-depth madness that she felt because she could not escape. She also used the word trapped, which I think is a great word for her to use in front of the jury. Now, I want to discuss the addiction. She has a strong addiction to opiates, which Diddy obviously got her on, and this is why she has drug dealers and, had everything. And then she ended up going into rehab, hasn't taken anything since 2022, and is basically in a much better position. But Diddy, of course, put her in a position to not only be groomed, but one of the next phases was for her to be addicted to substances so that she ends up in this cycle. It's very devilish. Diddy knows exactly what he is doing. She confirms that she wrote a book and she wanted to sell it to Diddy for 30 million, and she went through Christina Coram. Christina Coram and Diddy laughed in her face and said that, not taking this seriously. She then took the other option to sue and confirmed that she settled for 20 million. She confirmed that she also sleepwalks, that she suffers from severe PTSD as well. Doctors also, she said, would confirm write medication for her or in the name of her assistant in order for her to take medication that Diddy wanted her to do. Who are these doctors? They need to be struck off by tonight 9 p.m. for the fact that they are writing medication for Cassie. Cassie once called her friend Kerry Morgan, one of her best friends, but their bond fell apart after Diddy allegedly hit Kerry with a wooden hanger and given her a concussion. And according to Cassie's lawsuit, she and Kerry were inseparable up until this incident. The lawsuit says Diddy and Kerry got into it and Diddy threw a hanger at her. This led to a legal settlement between Kerry and Diddy, but Cassie also had to give extra money. Cassie admits that this basically ended the friendship, and I completely understand. Once you experience that with a best friend, end that friendship. Kerry did not need to be there. She removed herself from all of those parties because all of it is just very unsafe, unfortunately, and it just makes sense to do so. This relationship that Cassie has with opiates is unfortunately very sad, and the sores that she had in her mouth because of the freak-offs. Remember, on the day before, she discussed on Tuesday that the freak-offs would go on for 4 days. So of course she would have such horrific symptoms, but I wanted to get out all of these facts to you in basically less than 10 minutes so that you guys get quick understandings. She also said that she tried to run from him through many events, and one of them was when she saw Diddy with BET executives. So she does talk about running away from Diddy, but unfortunately it just did not work for her. The trial was very long today. It was very intense. Very intense indeed, but I think that she did very well. Cross-examination starts tomorrow, so the defense, if it's Brian Steele, are probably going to rip her apart, and she's ready for that. And to be honest with you, her being truthful isn't the issue because they can spin that truth. It's just her being brave enough to do so because she is 8 to 9 months pregnant, and so it's just very difficult mentally, let alone physically, to do what she needs to do. These are all the main notes from today. And again, I want to run back to the UTIs, the STDs. This is what Diddy was carrying. I spoke to you guys about this months ago with how Diddy and STIs, there are a big issue. He's spreading stuff, and you know, there's one lawsuit with Ashley Parham said something, Jonathan Oddy now said something, Cassie's now saying something. This guy, especially men, they don't check themselves. Diddy, of course, I would imagine being one of them, spreading things like wildfire. For them to have burning sensations throughout these freak-offs is dangerous, extremely dangerous. Some of this can be irreversible, but you know, you can take medicine throughout your life when you do have breakouts. But somebody like Diddy is horrifically dangerous, spreading STIs left, right, and center. Awful, diabolical. But this is just, you know, the third day. So much information is extremely overwhelming, honestly even tiring, going live for 4 to 5 hours throughout a trial, and then having to do a review here. But nobody's going to have time to be going back and watching a 5-hour live stream. This is better for you guys. You know everything in less than 10 minutes. The opiate addiction is very interesting to me. This is what people like groomers like Diddy do. They plan you and put you in positions where you become dependent on something or on somebody. They want you dependent on something. Once they have that, they can easily control you. It's very sad. Her being raped on the floor and left like that, and all he had was black in his eye, is a very interesting thing for her to say. Disgusting, awful, sad. But when she mentioned that his eyes were completely black, this is very common for those who are narcissistic. They have black eyes. There's nothing in their eyes. It's completely empty. I've seen that look before. The look is empty. It's dead. You won't get any empathy from these people who have complete black eyes and are very narcissistic. You won't get any empathy from them. Don't even bother. Turn around. Leave them.